Well, hello, everybody. Welcome yet again to another episode of Wrestling with the Future. Tonight, we go deep. We're going inside the world of Gino Hernandez, the many lives of Gino Hernandez. And to walk us through this muck and mire, this myriad of mischief and mayhem is Amelia, living La Vida Loca Chapman. How you doing, Amelia? How you doing?
Doing great. How are you?
I was a little concerned there may not be a show tonight, but there's always a way to do a show.
Absolutely.
Tonight we were supposed to have I'm sorry, not Amelia. Amelia's here. We were supposed to have Rudy Gonzalez, a longtime Texas promoter and a friend of Gino. We were supposed to have him here. Rudy was given the invitation and indicated he would be here, but he has, as of yet, not shown up. So, Rudy, if you're out there, or if your friends of Rudy are out there, tell Rudy to check his inbox and get the hell on here. All right. Now, that said, Amelia, this is a subject matter near and dear to your heart.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this controversial, to say the least, this controversial figure named Gino Hernandez.
Yes.
Certainly, it's arguable.
Yes.
That he is much more popular in death than he was in life.
Absolutely.
So tell everybody who we're talking about here.
Gorgeous Gino Hernandez, wrestler, popular heel. He meant a lot to a lot of people in death as he did alive. He made a lot of people angry, but happy angry to where he made a lot of fans. He also was so popular that I even named my dog after him.
Yeah,
as you know.
I will tell you, people, in full disclosure, she's not lying.
No, I'm
Her
not.
dog's name is Gino.
Yes.
You can't make this stuff up.
No, I can't. No.
So go ahead. Tell me about Gino.
Well, I remember my dad when I was 4 years old. I remember, maybe I was younger, my dad used to take me to wrestling matches. And when I could, as far as remember, I was like, who is that gorgeous guy? And my dad's like, here's the little girl. And I'm like, well, he is cute, Daddy, you know. And he said, that's right. Gino. He's a bad guy. And I was like, he's not bad, Daddy. He looks okay.
And how old were you when you discovered Gino Hernandez?
I remember I was like 4, at least 5 years old. And my dad says, he's a wrestler. He's a bad guy. You have to say boo. And I said,
you was just a little kid.
I was a little kid every other Tuesday.
Wow.
Yeah. And going to Odessa, Texas wrestling matches at the Ector County Coliseum.
And you were how old? 4 or 5?
4 or 5 years old.
I think I was on my second or third wife at that point. Let's tell everybody a little bit about who this guy is. His name was Charles Eugene Wolfe. He was born August 8th, 1957, and died February 2nd, 1986. He was a professional wrestler, better known by the name Gino Hernandez.
Gorgeous Gino. Don't forget.
Gorgeous. Excuse me.
No, not me. He loved to be called Gorgeous Gino Hernandez. That would be him. If he was here, he'd correct you.
Oh. Yeah. Well, excuse the hell out of me. Gorgeous Gino Hernandez.
Right.
He is best known for his appearances with the Dallas-based organization called World Class Championship Wrestling between 1976 up until his death in 1986. He was with that company a full 10 years. Prior to that, he was with Southwest Championship Wrestling and wrestled with the likes of Ivan Putski, Cowboy Scott Casey, Bruiser Brody, Iceman King Parsons, and our friend Tiger Conway Jr. And that's just off the top of my head. In 1986, Gino Hernandez died, and his death was initially ruled a homicide case. But police later concluded that he died of what was thought to be a drug overdose. The police then reversed their own findings and ruled Gino was the victim of a homicide. The question has always been, who killed Gino and why? Well, we're going to talk about that tonight because there were many If you can believe it, there were at least 3 very plausible scenarios that played out. If you
That is
believe
correct.
it, I happen to believe that in wrestling, anything's possible. If it can happen, it's going to happen in the world of pro wrestling. So, Amelia,
Yes.
we have talked about Gino on the show before.
Yes.
One of the things, and you and I talked about this. One of the things we talked about was his kind of like living the gimmick personality. You and I talked about that. You know, when we think about like certain guys that would live the gimmick, a perfect example comes to mind: Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Yes.
Okay, a perfect example of a guy who lived the gimmick. Another guy who might live the gimmick, someone like Tully Blanchard, because he's as much of a heel on television as he is in real life. That's a guy that lives the gimmick. Gino had this interesting thing about him, though. He was a heel, he was a bad guy, but people loved him.
Absolutely.
Kind of like, it reminds me of another guy from Texas, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes.
Okay. He was, I want people to remember, Steve Austin, Stone Cold, was not initially a fan's favorite.
No.
He went into a match with Bret Hart as the heel and came out of that match, for all intents and purposes, the most over baby face in history.
Yes.
You can't make us up.
No.
Just go look. It's happened.
Everybody loves him
Gino
now.
Hernandez was that kind of guy.
Yes.
You know, the other thing, and I want you to talk about this, Amelia.
Yes.
Because as I switch your name over here, here we go. Otherwise, people are going to think you're a Mad Dog Scipio. I want you to talk about, from your perspective,
Okay.
what drew you as okay, you said you were about 4 or 5, but
Yes.
you got older. You were like 9, 10 years old, and you really got like into Gino.
Yes.
So let's talk about, what was it that like make a 10-year-old, 11-year-old girl like all squishy gushy for this bad guy?
Just his persona, the way he was in the ring, the way he moved, the way he walked, the way just the way he, just not pranced himself, but just the way he looked at the camera and the way he just gave you that kiss and the way he just made every girl just hate you, but at the same time love you. Love him. Exactly.
It's funny that you say that, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
I'm smiling as you say that, because as you're saying that, I'm reminded of a guest that you and I had on the show.
Yes.
Eddie Mansfield. You're smiling.
Oh, yeah.
Eddie Mansfield, who said Gino Hernandez, gorgeous Gino, stole his best stuff from Eddie Mansfield. And I got news for you. He ain't lying.
Or maybe Eddie stole it from Gino.
Gino made a career.
If you're watching Eddie.
Yeah, he made a career out of stealing Eddie's stuff. And I'm reminded when Gino said 235 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. A poor girl's lover, a rich woman's dream, or something like that. A poor girl's dream, a rich woman's love, or something like that. And all the women want to, all the men want to be him.
And all the girls be with him. Yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of like, you were one of those, you fell into that, you want to be with him kind of crew. Much as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old girl could want to be with Gino Hernandez.
Well, I had posters of him on my wall.
In Texas, I got news for you, Amelia. Even in Texas, that's illegal.
Well, no, I had posters of him on my wall. He was my first crush, my very first crush.
I'm sure he was. I have no doubt. Gino certainly knew how to pop a crowd.
Oh, yeah.
He knew how to pop a crowd. He knew how to work a crowd.
Oh, yeah.
He also knew how to get heat like nobody's business.
Oh, nobody. Yeah.
And so let's talk about the art of getting heat in Texas. And I should tell people that Amelia Living La Vida Loca Chapman, she is a tried and true down home Texas girl. And she knows Texas wrestling.
Absolutely.
You know? And who is that? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Somebody was trying to pop in here and I just blocked them out. Because it wasn't Rudy and it wasn't Courtney.
Who knows
who the hell they were, but they ain't getting in here. But so he knew how to. He really knew how to get heat.
Oh yeah, just give him a microphone. That was it. I remember one time that he was. It was. I know it was Chris Adams' match against Kevin Von Erich, and he had to be in the cage because they didn't want him to interfere in the match. And of course, the cage was going to be lifted up, so that way definitely he couldn't interfere in the match, and definitely he couldn't throw anything to Chris into the ring.
Yeah.
And he was like going like this. So that means give me the microphone. And he just started saying that he was going to be up there, and even though he was going to be up there, he wasn't going to interfere and all this stuff. Just give him the microphone, and he had something to say, no matter what.
Exactly. Let me ask you a question. I want you to put your fan hat on.
Okay.
I was thinking about this today.
Okay.
Because I knew we were doing a show. Who was the better tag team? Okay. Gino and Tully or Gino and Chris?
To be honest with you, I think it was Gino and Chris. I think they had more of a persona, more of a connection together because Tully and Gino is the one that carried the team. With Gino and Tully, it was Gino and Gino.
I gotta tell you something. I agree with you. And I'm not surprised that I agree with you. I've always thought Chris Adams was a better worker. Chris Adams was a better personality than Tully Blanchard. Certainly a better promo guy, hands down.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even close. As far as promo.
Yes.
Because you can keep up with Gino Hernandez doing a promo.
Oh yeah. They both did. Good. Yes, they both worked with each other. Him and Tully did none of the talking. None. And Gino did all the talking.
There's a reason for that. The promoters and the fans wanted to hear Gino, not Tully.
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Keep in mind, Gino Hernandez could have gone any way. He could have gone heel.
Absolutely.
He could have gone babyface. Think about something. I want you to, as you and I are talking, I want to bring something up here. And we'll keep talking for a minute.
Okay.
I'm going to bring something up here. You and I are going to talk about something.
Okay.
Something very important. We're going to bring up a little slideshow that I put together.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So this is, you all know this one, right?
Yes.
Okay. There's Gino.
I love those famous sunglasses.
He has to be, I'm guessing, maybe.
He has to be in high school right there.
Like 18, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
17, 18 right there.
Okay. So he's a young guy at this point.
Yes.
At this point, it's my understanding is where he expressed an interest in becoming a wrestler.
Yes.
And maybe the sophomore, junior year in high school. Probably around there. You go. There's Tully Blanchard. Now
that's when they won the belts that night.
It's just he's that kind of guy. Tully just has one of those faces. You want to smack the
punch in the face.
You just want to smack the slap off his face there.
I feel like doing it right now, even though I.
He just looks like one of those guys.
Yeah, you just want to smack in the face.
Gino Hernandez he had his face and the likeness on several baseball cards.
Yes.
There you go.
He was proud of those jackets. He loved those kind of jackets.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about these. We know who these people are.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about the people in this picture.
They love those they love those championship belts.
Some of my favorite people are in this.
Gary Hart, manager of Chris Adams at the time.
Yeah, left to right. Let's go. Chris
Adams, Gary Hart, Gino Hernandez.
Playboy Gary Hart, Gino Hernandez,
Jake
Roberts,
and
Baby Doll. My friend and frequent guest, Baby Doll.
And I love her. When I met her, I got to actually go haha to some bullies from middle school when I met her.
I want you to look at what they're, all of them, every one of them has a belt.
Absolutely.
Okay. They all have a belt. They were such a hot commodity. They drew all the money, all the heat, all the seats. And there's Gino.
That's the hair match outfits.
Yes.
That's the night of the hair match.
And there's the hair match.
Oh my gosh.
Now, Gino, like I said moments ago, he could have gone babyface or heel. This is the kind of match where you almost felt sorry for him.
I know. I wanted to drag him out of that. It was so bad.
And I'll be honest with you, and I'm gonna tell something. I'm gonna tell a tale out of school here. I never liked the Von Eriks. I don't like Kevin Von. He's the last one left. Kevin Von Erich. I should say. Hold on. He's got two sons.
No, the Von Erich brothers. Yeah, I know which ones you mean. The generation Von Eriks, the first generation.
Yeah, he's got two sons that are the two brothers are working together. I don't see it happening. The Von Eriks were done deal. They had their place in history. It's over. Okay.
Yeah.
It's over. So that's the night of the hair match. This is also that same night. This is, of course, one of the last matches, by the way, for gentleman Chris Adams. Now, we're going to stop this picture here for just a second.
Okay.
A lot of people ask me questions about this photo. Okay. It's not a staged photo, people.
No, he was really dating her.
He was exactly.
Yes.
He was dating Farrah Fawcett. And as further proof of this, I'm going to show you some paparazzi pictures that may have never been seen before.
Yes.
So there's Tully and Gino again. That's the Texas heavyweight. It's the Texas tag team title. Gino in the back of his limo with a couple of paid escorts. We'll just say we'll call them paid escorts. Chris and Gino again, and you're going to see more pictures of Farrah come popping up here in a moment. This is an interesting clip. If you remember this, Amelia.
Yes.
They were being interviewed. I'm trying to remember.
Out of his private jet.
Bill Mercer was interviewing them outside.
Yeah, they were going out of his private jet.
Talking about fast cars and fast women.
Yes, his favorite Corvette.
Yeah, and they were doing donuts in the parking lot of the television studio. Yeah, I remember that. That was
he loved that Corvette.
Yeah, he loved that car. That was his car, by the way.
Yes.
That was, and I want people to know that was his real car. It wasn't like
he had just bought it.
Studio.
Yeah, he had just bought that car. I remember.
Yeah, yeah,
he loved his hair. That was his brush. Yeah, he had to brush his hair. I had that poster. That was my poster. I have that poster. Yeah. Yes, that was behind my bed.
There's another picture of Farrah.
He gave her some roses.
This was actually taken in Los Angeles.
Yeah, wasn't that when he went to audition for some movies? Because he went to go audition for us. I know I had heard rumors that he went to go audition.
He actually did audition
for a couple of them, right?
Jacob?
He went to audition for 2 movies, but he didn't get them right because they said he was too cocky or something like that.
Yeah, too full of himself is what they said.
Yeah,
you know, now here's Hollywood. Think about this. This is Hollywood telling a wrestler he's too cocky, he's too full of himself.
Hey, he was so gorgeous. He should have been in a movie or 2.
Well, now it's you see wrestlers in film all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here's Farrah. That's how I remember him. The late Farrah Fawcett, rest in peace. So this here was at the Sportatorium in Dallas.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about these 2 guys. There's Gino at age 19. The gentleman behind him may look familiar to some people, especially if you're my age, and which is old.
You're not
His
old.
name is Jose Lothario.
His trainer.
His trainer and a legend in his own right.
Mm-hmm.
He is also the same Jose Lothario who trained a young gentleman named Shawn Michaels,
Yes.
another Texas wrestler.
Yes.
A lot of great Texas talent came out of that Dallas
Mm-hmm.
Fort Worth area. There's an interesting picture. We have to talk about this guy.
Yeah.
This is Paul Bosch. Now, I'm going to set the rumor straight. Ginos Mother says, no way is Paul Bosch Gino's father. Gino's mama is lying. I'm sorry, folks, but she is. Paul Bosch is Gino's father. That's the case. You can dispute it. You can argue it. We've had a gentleman on the show who was there and who should know.
And confirmed it.
Eddie Mansfield. Fast Eddie Mansfield knows he was there. And it's never been in any dispute in that area that Gino and Paul Bosch had a very, very unusual relationship, even for a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And there is Tully today, what he looks like now. There's Baby Doll, our friend Nicola. When you look back, Amelia, at the photo on your left there, and you look at the photo on the right of Nicola today, certainly beautiful woman.
Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful.
What do you think Gino would have thought about Nicola today?
That she's still as beautiful as ever and talented, and he's very proud of her, the woman she's become and the mother that she is.
I think they could have actually had something, to be honest with you. I really do. Even though all they did kind of really was work together. You know, there he is, gorgeous. Let's make sure we got it right.
Right, gorgeous.
Gino. See, I got it right for you.
for him, you know.
And there's Paul Bosch. There's Gino's mother.
There's a lot of similarities with him right there with Gino, if you put them together.
Well, let's talk about this for a second. I want to bring this woman up here. Hold on.
His mom. That's his famous robe. He loved that robe.
Yeah, I want to bring her up again for just a half a second. This woman, I just don't know, and I want to tell you something. And forgive me if I sound judgmental, folks, but I have to tell you, I don't like this lady. I don't like her. I don't believe what comes out of her mouth. I think she's a liar. I think she knows more than she's saying.
She does. To be honest with you, I feel she does.
And let's talk about her.
I feel that she does.
I told people I'm going to go there, so guess what? I'm going there. I heard the interview she did with Dark Side of the Ring.
Yeah,
it left me scratching my head, going, "What the fuck are you talking about, lady? This is your son.
Yes,
this is your son. He's dead. You don't know how he died, but you're going to believe that he just accidentally overdosed? That he was known to be a drug user, but he wasn't eating drugs like candy. He would have had to been eating drugs like candy to OD the way they said he did.
Yeah, exactly. Because you wouldn't find that much in there in his system. For that.
I was going to say there was nothing in his stomach.
No.
There was nothing in his stomach.
Nothing.
So I have a problem with what she's saying. You know, what are your thoughts?
If it was me, I would be still investigating to this day, like we are right now. I mean, I even have a problem with it, and I'm just a fan of somebody that's caring and wondering why would somebody at 29 years old be found with that much in this system. And I'm 36 years later, and I'm still wanting to know why, what, where, when, all those questions, how.
Yeah.
And I want to get to the bottom of this.
This is at Texas
the hair
Stadium.
Match.
Yeah, Texas Stadium. Now, I've never been to Texas Stadium, but it looked like a pretty big place.
It's huge. Yes, huge.
Have you been there?
No, I've never been, but my sister has for the games, and it is huge. I mean, even from the angles that they show for the games, it is humongous.
I was going to say because I remember seeing the Freebirds
Mm-hmm.
versus I'm wanting to say the Von Eriks, the Freebirds
Yes.
versus the Von Eriks,
Mm-hmm.
and there we are going back to square one.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
as we
still, yeah, to me, like sorry
oh, go
about
ahead,
that.
Amelia.
And the mother, she was just saying that she listened to the interview. She's like, "Oh, I just want to know what happened." To me, I'd be like, wait a minute, I don't understand. Why is this person coming forward now? I was crying a little bit. Now I could go have some margaritas. What was that about? No, 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 no. I'd be like, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I have a
uh-uh.
problem. Do you
Did you see
understand what
that
I?
part? Yeah.
And now that's what I'm telling people. That's my problem.
Uh huh.
Okay, she's. Are you grieving for your son, or are you late for cocktail hour?
Exactly.
Oh, it's time to have a drink now. You
Yeah.
know.
Exactly. What was in that box that he brought to her house that all of a sudden went missing?
Well,
It did
you'll never know because nobody's
exactly.
talking about it,
Hmm.
and
Exactly.
that's part of the problem. You can't get anyone to talk. We
Yes.
had, and just as proof, we
Hmm.
had 4 people scheduled for this show tonight.
Uh huh.
You and I are the only ones here.
And where's John Royal? Why is he such secretive? What was the champagne brought him in for? Why did he Jeannie escort with him to the funeral? Why? What's going on with that?
Well, I want to know more about Jorge
You
de la
know.
Pena,
Yeah.
the guy who's responsible for
Uh
Gino's
huh.
death,
And
drug dealer.
why is there more people coming out saying that they're responsible for his death? What's going on with that too?
Well, here I
You
want to
know.
lay it out for everybody. So just bear with
Mhm.
me.
Mhm.
Okay, Gino was no doubt about it. He was a drug user,
Yes.
but he was not an all-consuming drug user. He
Exactly.
liked a little bit of coke.
Mhm.
He didn't. He was never a pot smoker. He
Mm.
liked a little coke. He never did pills. He wasn't a pill guy.
Mhm.
Okay, he was a coke guy. He liked a little taste of coke once in a while. Once in a while. Okay,
Mhm.
keep that in mind. He was not an everyday user, and generally, he only used on his days off.
Right.
Here's the problem: if you believe the amount of drugs that he consumed, which would have to be staggering to kill him, right?
Mhm.
He would have had to been up all night just blowing lines and lines of coke.
Absolutely.
But they found nothing in the system.
Mhm.
Okay, that's one problem. The other problem is Jorge de la Pena, who was a drug dealer, I should say, rest in peace, Jorge, because he's dead. The problem is that he didn't do business with Gino over drugs. He did business with Gino over money.
Right.
Okay? Gino wasn't killed over drugs, he was killed over money. He owed some very bad people some very large money.
Mhm.
You understand? You understand what I'm saying? He owed a lot. He owed
Absolutely.
the wrong people big
People.
money.
Right.
And so understand that what we're talking about. Oh, here you go. I remember Jose. Here we go.
Mhm.
Leon Barfield. I remember Jose. He worked for years feuding with Black. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
Leon's absolutely right.
Yes.
You know, but understand something, and it's really important that we understand this.
Mhm.
Um, there were people then that are still alive now who could tell the story of Gino, but
Exactly.
they won't. That's what's got me. Again,
Mhm.
I want people to understand we had 4 people scheduled for this show tonight.
Mhm.
Amelia and I are the only ones who showed up.
Mhm.
All right.
Yeah.
Why? Why are people even now either afraid to talk about Gino afraid to disparage his memory, which I get. I totally get that. But why isn't anyone coming forward to shed light on this?
Exactly. Because I want his
I
legacy
want
to
to
live
know
on.
why. What's the big deal?
Yeah.
Like, talk to me.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
want
tell me
I
what's
want
going
the
on.
truth out. I want the truth to come out. I mean, what's wrong with that? The man needs to be rest in peace. Everybody needs to know the truth. I want the truth. What's wrong with that?
Boston Spencer, Gino Hernandez, and Chris Adams, great tag team.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yes, the best tag team ever.
Amelia and I absolutely agree with you, Spence.
Yes.
We believe that the Gino and Chris were the far better team
Yes.
than Gino and Tully
Mm-hmm.
any day of the week. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's we did this earlier, and I want to make sure that people understand that we're being fair here.
Mm-hmm.
Just to show you Gino's bio. He
Yes.
was born Charles Eugene Wolfe, wrestled primarily in World Class Championship in Dallas, Fort Worth
Mm-hmm.
area, and his death was initially considered a homicide, then ruled a drug overdose, then reversed back to victim of a homicide.
Yes.
So that's what we're talking about here.
Yes.
Understand this, and let's go back to
Okay.
what we know and what we speculated.
Yes.
Because
there was also
speculated that Joe Blanchard and Tully Blanchard, if you believe the rumor mill, so we have to go there.
Yeah.
That it is largely been speculated for years. I don't know whether it's been proven or not, that Joe Blanchard may have had something to do with having Gino killed.
Yeah, that if he could, he would carry him out he would have him carried out in a body bag.
Okay, so now you're familiar with. You and I are both familiar with what we're talking about.
Yes,
I'm going to let you have the floor here. I want you to tell people what you know.
There was some argument back in Southwest Championship Wrestling a couple of times with Gino, where he was fired a couple of times by Joe Blanchard, and there was a heated argument. Nobody knows what the arguments were for. Gino would.
I can fill you in on that, but go ahead.
Okay. Gino came out one time out of the office, and they were all like wondering what's going on. Gino's like, nothing, don't worry about it. And somebody overheard Joe Blanchard say that if he could, he would just get rid of Gino and carry him out in a body bag. And that was more than once.
Yeah, and he said it more than once. The
other more than once.
Here is what I know factually. I know that the falling out that Gino and Joe Blanchard had affected Gino and Tully as well. Part of the problem was that Gino and Joe argued over money, they argued over billing, and they argued over booking. Okay? Gino wanted to be first on the team. Tully wanted to be first on the team.
Yeah, because Tully's daddy, because daddy owned everything, and Tully.
You answered the question.
Yeah, but
who do you think the promoter's going to push?
Gino
or his son?
Well, yeah, but you know what? Tully.
Amelia, think about something.
Yeah.
If you're a promoter and you have a child working for your promotion,
well, of course,
aren't you going to make sure that they get the best push?
Yeah, of course, but Gino carried the team. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So now, and the other thing is, and again, the relationship between Gino and Tully worked beautifully because neither one of them on their own could generate. Well, that's not true. Tully needed Gino. I believe Tully needed Gino.
Definitely to have the money coming in.
To get over, absolutely. Because Tully couldn't draw, No,
he couldn't
draw a glass of water in the desert. Okay.
No.
And like the late Mike Graham used to say, he never drew dime He never drew. Yeah, I love.
Right.
He's a guy that we're going to talk about him one night too.
Uh-huh.
The Graham family of Florida.
Uh-huh.
It's interesting though. It's really, really interesting that here's a guy that you know that on the surface seemed like they had everything going. But there was trouble in paradise.
Oh, yes,
The
all the
other
time.
problem was with regarding Joe Blanchard
Mm-hmm.
was that Joe was a notorious tightwad.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't like to pay,
No.
but no promoters don't want to pay money; they want to make money.
Yeah, they want to keep
But
it for
if
themselves.
you got wrestlers working for you, they're not working for free. They got families to feed.
Mm-hmm.
It's their job. They want to work to make money.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they're working 6-7 days a week trying to put food on their table.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God, most of them were smart enough to save their money, but a lot of them were stupid and thought it was going to last forever.
Oh, definitely.
The gravy train was going to last forever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, Amelia?
Right, absolutely.
And then what happened when the gravy train dried up?
Yeah.
And the phone stopped ringing and nobody's booking you on the next big card.
Mm-hmm.
Then what do? Well, then now you went from being on television. Now you're working in some high school gym.
Yeah.
For some local indie promotion, making like $200.
Yeah, it wasn't that much money. Yeah, it wasn't that much money at all.
No.
Yeah.
You go from making, $2,000 a week to $200 at the high school gym.
Oh, yeah.
On a Saturday night.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's why Joe Blanchard had lots of different businesses. And when Southwest Championship Wrestling was going under, that's why he had so many businesses.
Absolutely.
And I think that also, remember when it was going under, then WCW all of a sudden started calling Tully Blanchard to be one of the Four Horsemen. To be honest with you, I think they really wanted Gino, but I think Joe Blanchard worked a deal with Arn Anderson's dad.
That's exactly where we're going to go next.
Because I think Gino was going to be the fourth horseman, but
he was absolutely going to be the Four Horsemen. And I want to tell you who picked them.
Yep.
Okay? I want to tell you who picked them.
Mm-hmm.
J.J. Dillon.
Yes.
Gary Hart, as I am told, Gary Hart told J.J. Dillon, we got this kid here named Gino Hernandez.
Yes.
Gorgeous Gino. And as I am told that the story goes, he'd be a great member for the Horsemen.
For the Horsemen, yes.
Okay. Upon hearing this, Joe Blanchard put the kibosh on that.
Slithered right in like a snake.
In Texas. And sent Tully to Atlanta.
Yeah, he slithered right in like a snake and put Tully in instead.
Here's the funny thing.
Mm-hmm.
Tully was basically sent to Atlanta as punishment.
Yes.
To get him out of Texas.
Yeah.
It turned out that punishment ended up working in his favor.
Oh, yeah,
Then he became more famous with the Four Horsemen. But again, Tully Blanchard on his own could not make it. He had to have a team to support him.
Oh, that little gunfire incident, Tom, that he had little gunfire incident that he had in San Antonio.
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Who doesn't know about that one, please?
Oh, yeah.
It's still talked about.
Oh, yeah.
He had Atlanta. He had Arn Anderson, Ole Anderson, Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham, Ric Flair, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, baby. You had all of the greats in Atlanta. Just a stone throw from Florida, where another great, the legendary Eddie Graham and his son Mike Graham were residing, and they would trade talent back and forth.
Yes.
Okay. My question would be, if the Funks and Briscoes could go back and forth from Florida to Texas,
absolutely,
why the hell couldn't Gino get out of Texas? He was being held in Texas as punishment.
Yes.
so he wouldn't grow anywhere.
Yes.
The only thing, the one thing that happened that made Gino Hernandez immortal was he got killed. He died.
Yes.
That's what made him immortal.
Yes.
Okay? Think about
Mhm.
that.
Exactly.
We're talking about Gino Hernandez today, 40 years later,
Mhm.
or whatever it's been, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
1986, right?
Yeah.
A long time ago. This is my point.
Absolutely.
All right? So, who won out? As far as I'm concerned, Gino won out because
Yeah.
we're still talking about. We're not
His
talking about Tully in
no,
any positive way. That's for
no.
damn sure.
Absolutely. His death is what did it.
So
Yeah.
we got an interesting. You know what? It's you and I, believe it or not,
Mhm.
we're not far off on the Gino thing.
Yes.
Even though I thought that he could have been an amazing baby face,
Oh yes.
I think the fact that he was such a great heel
Mhm.
cemented his legacy
Mhm.
because he really was kind of like the Stone Cold before Stone Cold.
Just imagine with him right now, if he was in WWE, just imagine him and Vince McMahon, how they would have been with each other, like Stone Cold and him
I
are. Yeah.
shudder to think, and I'm going to tell you
Just
why.
think about
Because
it. Just
Vince McMahon would have killed that poor kid's career so
yeah.
fast.
Mhm.
Vince McMahon
Uh,
wouldn't know what to do with Gino.
with Gino, exactly. They would
He
have been
wouldn't know
another.
what to do. I could see Gino, man. I wish
Yeah.
that kid had lived. Because I'll
Yes.
tell you what, Gino would have been great for
Uh huh.
AEW.
Absolutely.
He would have been amazing at AEW, even NXT to some degree.
Yes.
But I don't ever think that Gino and Vince McMahon would have ever seen
Eye to
eye
eye with
to
anything.
eye.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have a real problem um, believing that Vince would see eye to eye with anybody because he really doesn't.
Yeah. There was also rumors too that he said that if there was a way that he could fake his death, he would have as
Yeah,
well.
and Leon Barfield, God bless you, Leon. Tully was good as a horseman, but I don't think he would have been much alone. And you're absolutely right.
Absolutely right.
And that's what we were talking about, Leon.
Mhm.
We were just talking about that and how, because let's take Leon's comment. I want to talk about that a little bit.
Mhm.
Tully on his own, again, we said it before, he
Mhm.
was great as part of a team that could carry him. But
Exactly.
on his own, he can't do anything.
No.
His daughter, Tully's daughter,
Mhm.
Tessa, is 1,000 times better the worker than he ever
Yes.
was. Because this kid learned. She learned her craft and she put her ego aside. And she was willing to open up and listen to the people before her.
Yeah, she
And
learned
maybe
old
if her
school.
father was smart, maybe he gave her some good advice. We hope, we pray.
Yes.
You know?
She learned old school.
Old school rules, kiddo.
Mhm.
Old
Old school
school.
rules. Yep.
Me, real old, really, really old.
Yeah. You're not that old.
You tell him I'm dragging ass. Oh man.
Yeah.
Here's the thing though.
Uh-huh.
Gino was a young guy.
Yes,
He
29
was
when he passed away.
just
Very, very young.
yeah. Could you imagine the career he would have had in the 90s, in the 2000s? I want people to realize he
Yeah.
died in 1986.
He died at the prime of his life. Prime of
He
his
died,
life.
yeah, in February.
Yes.
We
Yes.
just passed the anniversary of his death in
Mhm.
February.
Yes.
And here's a guy that by all accounts did it the right way.
Mhm.
He trained, he went to school, he trained with good, solid, reputable teachers, and he earned his way. And nobody gave him anything.
No.
Paul Bosch,
Mm-hmm.
who could have handed him the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Gino said, "No, I want to work my way. I want to earn my way."
He wants to earn his way up, just like everybody else.
Paul Bosch would have pushed him to the moon and back. Let me tell you something. Paul Bosch was probably the best paying Texas promoter ever.
Yes.
And probably the best paying promoter in the country at the time. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, think about that. Paul Bosch was a guy, he's a war hero. He's a war hero, a legit war hero who had credibility and knew governors and senators and presidents and had pull and had clout. He could have did anything he wanted for Gino, but he didn't. Why? Very simple. It would have looked like he was playing favorites, and people would have questioned, what's this guy doing? What has he got? What's his ace in the hole? Okay?
Right. He didn't want to be like the Von Eriks.
And then the dirty little secret comes out, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yes. But way after. Mm-hmm.
Then the dirty little secret comes out. Can't do that. You got to play. You can look. Now, like, I guess today, anything goes, because it's like, no, people get pushed all the time, and they're not even trying to hide the fact that they're getting pushed. So, I mean, it's a very different kind of wrestling game today than 1985, 86.
Oh, definitely.
So, Amelia, as we close out this episode, young lady.
Yes.
Your thoughts on Gino Hernandez and his legacy? What is his legacy?
It's just something that I want people to remember him by. That's when wrestling was wrestling. It's when the best kind of wrestling it was. It wasn't choreographed. It was they knew what the outcome was going to be, of course, as everybody knows now, but it was, you did this, you did that, and of course we didn't know what was going to come out of his trunks, because we didn't know if it was scissors or brass knuckles at the time.
Yeah.
And I still don't to the day know how he kept that in there, and we'll probably never know, but I don't want to know.
There's always a trick, kiddo.
Yeah, exactly. But he, made a difference to so many people, whether you love to hate him or love to love him. I mean, you could ask anybody, who do you hate? Gino. Or who do you love to hate? I love Gino. Everybody would say that. That's all you cared about. And I want everybody to remember that he was just one of the best heels, one of the best people that you would love to love him. Yeah. And his legacy wants to live on. Not that he died for what he died, but his wrestling skills. And people can learn from him. His wrestling and his elbow drop, and just get him in front of a microphone. That's how you learn how to do a promo. Learn how to do a promo. Watch Gino Hernandez. Gorgeous Gino Hernandez. Watch the promos.
There are two people to learn from if you want to learn how to do promo.
Exactly.
Well, three. I'll give, and they've all been on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Gino, well, the rest of Gino's never been on the show, but he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Gino Hernandez, Eddie Mansfield,
yes,
and Davey O'Hannon. Very subtle, low-key promo, but slow and methodical. That's Davey O'Hannon.
Yes.
Eddie Mansfield and Gino, they were in-your-face promos.
Yes.
Boom, boom, boom. Not time to breathe. Boom, hit you again.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes. And one of Gino's was...
The art of the promo is a very skilled art. You got to really kind of practice the promo.
Oh, yeah. Get in front of the mirror.
Yes. Grab a microphone and stand in front of the mirror. Get your mic. I don't know if you can see my mic, but here.
Or even grab a pen or brush and just stand in front of the mirror. And just say,
and if you don't have them, just grab your glasses and talk.
Yeah. Say, if you want to dance, you got to pay the band, one of those. Or If you can't stand the
listen to
heat, get
you.
out of the kitchen. One of
Living La
those.
Vida Loca is cutting
You
promos
know,
on you. Hot
one of
damn.
those. That was his favorite. His favorite one was, if you want to pay the band, if you want to dance, you have to pay the band. That was one of his
Mm-hmm.
promos. You know,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
or if you want to stand in the ring with me, you better make sure you're gonna, one of those like that. I mean, he made sure you were gonna. As soon as you hand him that mic, he was ready.
Yeah, I'm telling you what.
Yeah,
Well, this was a great show.
absolutely.
You and I filled up an hour tonight. Holy
We
shit.
did great. What do you think? We did great.
Dude, I think you can talk. Maybe I should let you talk more often.
You let me talk. What are you talking about?
You
Yeah, what do
know
you
what?
think, guys?
You're smart.
Well, you
All right.
let me
Well,
talk
listen. What do we
today.
got? What do we got coming up? Tell everybody what we got coming up.
Let's see. I know that we have the gentleman. What's coming up? Let's see. Oh, it is Ladies' Night coming up,
Absolutely. That's what I was
March
getting at.
15th.
Ladies' Night.
Yes.
March 15th, we've got Princess Victoria. We've got Amy Wilson and
Mm-hmm.
Eva Ray Birch. She is a young up and comer, and I may
Mm-hmm.
have a surprise for you. I'm not going to let it out of the bag just yet. Papa Bear might have a surprise.
Papa
Yeah.
Bear. Oh.
Yeah. I got a pair of slippers that says Papa Bear on it.
Oh.
So I might have a surprise. Um, I want everybody to kind of listen. I'm going to like promote myself for here for a second.
Okay.
March the 8th,
Okay.
I will be a guest on Python's Paradise. You can find them on Facebook. Just look for Python's Paradise. I will be a guest on Python's Paradise, and he will talk to me about our podcast. He
Mm-hmm.
wants to know about my career and the things I've done in my career and my wrestling and all that. So we're going to talk about that. And so if you
Mm-hmm.
get a chance to listen to me on or watch me on Python's Paradise, please do.
Mm-hmm.
That's March 8th, I believe, at 1 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
I believe it's a live program, and they haven't told me otherwise. And then we've got next week, we've got the return of Bruce Clark, the
Mm-hmm.
inventor of the Stadium Cup holder. Well, I found out what else this guy's. I got a whole slideshow,
Mm-hmm.
Amelia. Wait till you see what I got.
Oh, I can't wait.
I got some dirt on this guy. Then
And
we've got. Let me look on my. I just
oh,
happened to
and
have.
well, don't forget, we'll promote it here and on Instagram.
Yes, if you have, that's definitely want to do that. If you've got an event coming up, you've got a show, you've got a fundraiser, you've got something you want to promote, come
Mm-hmm.
on the show. It's
Mm-hmm.
free. You never pay an entrance fee to come on the show. Come on the show. We are live on 270 radio stations around the world, on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We are on Instagram. We are on, oh my God, we're on so many platforms simultaneously, and they're
Mm-hmm.
all live. I think we're on like, right now, we're on like 50 platforms live around the
Mm-hmm.
world, which is staggering to think about it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? What else I wanted to, oh yeah, here we go. I want to talk to you about, Scott Teal,
Mm-hmm.
March 17th. We've got wrestling book author Scott Teal on the show. On March 22nd, I've got Chris Candido's brother, Johnny Ray, is coming on the show. Of course, Ladies' Night on the 15th. Davey O'Hannon will be joining us on March 24th. You heard me mention Davey on the show tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Davey O'Hannon, very slow, methodical promo, very deliberate. He's going to come on and talk about the art of the promo, the way wrestling used to be, the way wrestling is now. And let's see. And then we've got, oh my God, just so much coming up. But we've got a lot going on, folks.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot going on.
Absolutely.
So, for Amelia, living La Vida Loca Chapman, I bust her chops. It's Amelia Valerio Chapman. I call her living La Vida Loca. I am Angelo Mad Dog DeCipio for Wrestling with the Future. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Absolutely. Thank you.